Everything that lives is designed to end. We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death.
What's goody? I'm Queen G22, Ninja Turtles gaming, geek stuff, and travel. And hello, Nier Automata, right? Or Nier Automata? I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've been calling it Nier Automata for a minute. And I'm pretty sure I saw some videos and they were calling it Nier Automata as well, but I believe the correct pronunciation is Nier Automata. So that's what I'm gonna go with because the last big stuff that I saw was Nier Automata. So I'm a little nervous and I'm very intimidated to even talk about this game. So let's just start off by saying this is not a review. This is not even close to a review, okay? This is just my thoughts because I decided whenever I beat a game, I wanna talk about it. So I beat Nier, well, I partially beat Nier Automata a little while ago, and wow, okay, so that is why this is not a review, because in order for me to do a review on this game, it would require extensive work and time that I do not have, because that is exactly what this game deserves. There are some amazing full reviews, and I mean these on YouTube, they're like an hour long. They are extensive. They deep dive into this thing, and those are reviews. This is gonna be like the Reader's Digest. So if you've played this game before, I would love to know your thoughts on what you feel about the game. And if you haven't played this game before and my thoughts intrigue you to want to play the game, I implore you to go look at some of these legit reviews. But be careful because there are spoiler alerts, and as far as this goes, there are no spoiler alerts. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spit from the heart. And yeah, I mean, no disrespect to this game at all. This game was probably the most sophisticated and philosophical game that I've ever played in my entire life. But you know, I am kind of new to the RPG scene, kind of. I don't really feel like anymore. I'm a couple years in, but a lot of people who have been playing RPG games for like 10 years, you know, I have not. The series that opened up my mind to games aren't always just games. Sometimes they are a lot deeper than that. Artwork, and not even, they're just not games. They're so much more than that. And I am just so grateful after playing this game to be a gamer that we have games like this that really make you think, ponder, and wonder about stuff. This game was way deeper than I thought it would be. So this is what happened. This is how I got into this game, because this game was released in 2017 on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. 2017. This game is almost 10 years old and it's magnificent. It is freaking brilliant. It came out for Nintendo Switch in 2022 and I picked it up for a Nintendo Switch. I played it for a Nintendo Switch. And you guys know how much I love me Nintendo, but I will say it does look better on the PlayStation and on the Xbox and on PC, but I enjoyed the hell out of the game on the Nintendo Switch. So what had happened was about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, when I decided I'm into this RPG thing. Xenoblade Chronicles blew me out, right? Blew my mind, blew me out. It had me thinking that I am really enjoying these games with these in-depth stories. So I started following YouTubers that do RPG games, and I promise you, 90% of those RPG YouTubers, in one of their videos, they at least mention Nier Automata as one of their at least top 5 games of all time, period. Of all time. And I'm hearing this back to back to back to back. So I'm like, let me pick up this freaking game then. So I bought it, I put it in my backlog, and a little while ago, I finally got a chance to play it. And they are absolutely correct. So a little information. So this game was developed by Platinum Games and published by Square Enix. So that's just one hell of a combo right there. I am a fan of Platinum Games. I haven't got a chance to play a lot of their games, but like one of their biggest series, Bayonetta, I have all of the games and I haven't had a chance to get to it. Hopefully this year I will. So you can imagine the hack and slash that we know of Platinum Games is in this game. But also this game is not just a hack and slash game, it is an RPG and it is a shooter. It is a beautiful mix of different types of gaming all in one, and it was just so freaking awesome. And not only does it have a killer team that put the game together, it did win Game of the Year, I believe, for Best Music and Best Score. So ultimately, I had to give it a shot, and I am so glad that I did. So let's get into the story. The story was incredible, and this game has, it's either 26 or 28 different endings. 26, 28, 20, whatever. That is a lot of freaking endings, right? That is a crazy amount of endings. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I went through too because there's a lot of other games that I want to play, but I do want to go back and play some of the different types of endings, because I'm hearing that out of the 26, let's say 26, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. Out of the 26 endings, 5 of them are the actual true correct endings. So that means you got 20 other false endings. That's crazy, right? So this story has a billion endings, and I've played through 2 of them. And you guys remember when I said, I think on my last RPG, when I see the credits, I'm done. I'm done with the game. I beat the game, the credits roll, that's a wrap, drop the curtains, I'm taking a bow and I'm dropping the mic, I'm leaving. But at the end, after you beat it, they tell you, hey, there's an alternate ending that we implore you to want to check out, because it truly ties the game together, and this is how the game should be played. So I had only put in about 25 hours when I beat it the first time. I'm thinking 25 hours, that's nothing, right? So okay, I can put a few more hours into this game. I can put in a little bit more, and you start off playing as a character. Her name is 2B, and she is a badass. She is amazing. She's fierce, she's strong, she's an android. So the basis of this story is basically you are in a post-apocalyptic world, and humans, or the human existence, are basically up in space right now. You play as 2B, and you are an android, and you are part of an army called Yorha, and the Yorha is an army of androids. And this army has been put together because on planet Earth there are aliens and robots that are running them up and causing shit. So it is up to the army to deal with these aliens. That is the premise of the whole entire story. And this game throws you into the freaking story like boom. Like as soon as you start the game, you are in the freaking thick of it. You know how most games, you kind of warm your way up into figuring out what's going on and how to play and what to do. Not this game. Nope, not this game. They throw you in the shit. You are in it, and you need to figure out how to freaking survive and get through it. At first, I was like, what the hell? Because I died a lot, right? Like, dude, you guys aren't gonna just teach me something, anything. You figure it out and you get better. And then I started thinking, this is freaking awesome. Like, this is a story, right? This is the freaking hook that grabs you into the story. So you jump right into it. You meet another character. His name is Lioness, and he is another android, and he is there to assist you and basically your team. And this is the start of the game, and you guys are killing robots and going through all this shit, and then you get to a Goliath. You get to the freaking Goliath and you beat it. And then after you beat the Goliath, hella more Goliaths show up, and 2B and 9S are like, this is not good. This is not good at all. And the only way to get out of this is to self-destruct. That's the only way to kill them all, is for them to kill themselves as well. Because remember, they're androids. So as long as they can transfer their mind, everything that they've collected, they can transfer that to, the system or whatever, and be put into another body if their body self-destruct, if they transfer everything. And so that's the plan. They're going to transfer, destroy everything, destroy themselves, and keep it moving. Well, they self-destruct, and 2B awakes in the bunker, which is the freaking space where all the other androids are. And 9S is there, but he is not 9S. He is not dude. And so she realizes he did not transfer all his stuff. I don't think he had enough time to. So all he had enough time to was to transfer hers. And so that is how the freaking game starts. It's beautiful. And it is so masterfully crafted that it doesn't give you everything all at once, right? It gives you little pieces here and there. And so a lot of the time I was freaking confused. What the is going on? I mean, I had a basis understanding, but they did it that way because you start to unravel things. And then as you complete the game and do all these other endings, different things start to make sense. It's masterful. Had they had given you everything that you needed during your first playthrough, I don't know, it wouldn't have been the same. It really wouldn't have been the same. And so I'm pretty sure that's why they did it that way. Some gamers aren't going to appreciate it. I did not know what was going on at first, but as I went through it, I was like, wow, this is one of those games where you're not in a game. Like we are essentially analyzing human existence, right? It is so much more than playing a game. So that's the story. So let's talk about like the stuff, that people want to know, like how are the mechanics, right? Let's get into the mechanics of the game. So earlier when I said that this game switches between hack and slash shooter and it's an RPG, you're in an open world. It's very smooth. It is very fluid. You have weapons, you have items. They're all accessible in ways and make it easy for you to switch out and get the items that you need. You can carry 2 different sets of weapon combos, and you have a freaking pod that travels with you as well. The pod can shoot lasers, it can defend you, it can do a lot of different things. It depends on how you stack it, right? Because obviously you got to go around and get stuff and build it to get it better. So while you're hacking and slashing, you're also shooting at the same time. The cameras do a fantastic job of keeping you in direction. Of course, you can lock into enemies once you come across them to help you, figure out where you're at, because you're just doing all this type of shit. You're spinning around. You want to make sure you know where you're at. For Nintendo Switch, it did a fantastic job. It was very, very, very smooth. Even from switching from walking to jogging to running to jumping to fucking parachuting in the air, right? Because you can grab onto your pod and you can float. It was perfect. Did I mention this game came out in 2017? And it's still amazing. I'm still blown away. I'm still trying to process what the did I just play? And there's different components of the game depending on who you're playing with, right? When you're playing with 2B, you're doing a lot of hack and slash and that kind of stuff. When you get to play with Lioness, you get to do this thing called hacking, where essentially you look like you're in a little video game and you're like shooting little things, but I mean, you're essentially, you're killing like viruses and stuff like that. That's what you're doing. Like, there's just so many different components in this one freaking game. You can ride animals, you get food, you feed them, they'll let you ride them. At one point, I was fighting on a freaking roller coaster. You're flying in pods, and all of this stuff that you're doing was absolutely seamless. It was easy, right? None of it was difficult. I had an amazing time playing this game. Another thing that I'd like to talk about in other games, or something that frustrates me, is getting lost. I hate getting lost. I need a game that is going to help direct me to where I'm going. Now, the map on this game is pretty open. Once you start unlocking different areas, you have the opportunity to roam around and, check stuff out, which is very nice. But at the end of the day, I need to know where I'm at. I need to know where I'm going. Nier Automata does a fantastic job helping you locate where you're at. It will allow you to mark stuff. You can pull up the map based upon the quest that you're on, or based upon items that you're trying to find. Like, there's a lot of different things. This game just kind of allows you to cater it to what suits you. And then, like most games, after a while, you do unlock like the fast track, and the fast track is freaking awesome. Instead of just running, sprinting everywhere, right? We all love a good fast track where we can get from A to B hella fast. They have plenty of those all over the place. You just have to unlock them. You just have to go get them. Let's talk about some techie type of stuff. First of all, as far as game design, now I will say, playing this game in 2025, although I played it for Nintendo Switch and it came out in 2022, it does show its age a tad bit, and that was fine. Like, I didn't have any problems with it. And of course, I play Nintendo, so I'm not looking for, well, maybe with the Nintendo Switch too, but with the Nintendo Switch OLED, I'm not looking for super crispy clear, but I also feel like the game design, a lot of it was that way. Like, depending on times of the day, there's this brown hue that is all over. Plus, remember, you're in a post-apocalyptic world, right? That shit is dusty. There's shit that's growing everywhere. Like, they painted the picture that definitely was trying to give the perception that civilization is no longer on this earth. So the color work that they use is a lot of browns and grays, and then when you get to certain bosses, then you get more reddish type stuff. It's just very well, god damn, this game is just very well orchestrated. It really freaking is. And I don't want to butcher his name, Yakatoro or something like that. Somebody put in the comments. I'll already know by the time I finish doing this business, but he does amazing work. clearly, he does amazing freaking work. The animation and cutscenes were everything, right? Now they are talking and actually having conversation during the game. Sometimes the chick from the bunker will beep in. She's the one that kind of gives new quests or whatever new stuff that she needs you to handle. You'll be talking to her, or you know, it's kind of like a walkie-talkie type thing. You meet other characters, you can talk to them as well. So a lot of the time during the game there is conversation. So if you're paying attention to that, then you're starting to get an understanding of the characters, and with that you get a more in-depth, I'm smiling, right, dude? Yeah, okay, you get a more in-depth understanding of the characters that you've met, and to be in 9S as well. The cutscenes are perfect. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the way that the freaking cutscenes come in is beautiful. They're not too long. It's not a freaking movie, right? And some of us get bored and it's not too short, like, give me more. It was perfect, and it really ties the game together, especially when you beat bosses, when you come up to these bosses, and it just really has you thinking, like, who's really in the wrong here? Okay, you know, like, there's a lot. Like I said, I am not doing an in-depth review, but again, this is a philosophical, psychological game as well, and there's just so much more to it. I would love if anyone has already beaten this game, well, I mean, at least beat the first part, Nier Automata, and I would just like love to just have a conversation. I'm starting to go over reviews where people are analyzing the whole entire storyline. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that this game, Nier Automata, is a spin-off from the game Nier, which came out for the Xbox 360. So I did not know that. I didn't know that this was a spin-off from that. And then the game Nier is a spin-off from another series. I don't remember the name. It's like Dragon Lord or something like that. So this story has been brewing for a while. Do you have to have played all of these games before you played Nier Automata? No, because I didn't. I didn't play none of those games. They're all their own little games, but I guess there are goose eggs throughout all of these games that basically tie them all together, which, Jesus, it's awesome, right? It's just freaking awesome. But anyways, the music, yes. I love the music so much that I downloaded some of the songs and I listened to them while I work out. That is how good the music is, and I've never done that before. And I have heard some good music in some games. You know, well, I mean, the Ninja Turtle soundtrack, yeah, I mean, who doesn't, right? Sometimes some of the Super Mario Brothers levels, yeah, you know, I like to listen to that. But this is the first soundtrack that I have downloaded in a very long time. It's emotional, it's feeling, it's mood setting. God, I love music when it's mood setting, right? When you get to the bosses and that shit gets deep and dark and you're like, yeah, it's about to go down, right? Or when you're exploring an area that is devastated, right? Music is just kind of soft and sad. When you're in a creepy ass area, the music is creepy. Like, the soundtrack is good. If you love good music while you're playing your game, dude. And again, this came out in 2017 and I think that music slaps. It is so good. I can totally see why it won Best Music and Best Score. Absolutely deserved. And for the American version, I felt that the voice acting was superb. I really did. A fantastic job. I don't have anything else to say. The inflection in the voice, the pain in the voice, the anger, the sadness, all that kind of stuff. Fantastic job. Really, really, really good job. And as far as the difficulty, well, I played it on regular, okay? And it wasn't easy. I will say that. I died a lot. I did ponder a couple of times just bringing it down a notch because I wasn't sure if I was gonna get through it. But after a while, when you just keep doing it, you learn the patterns and the stuff like that. But I would not say this game was easy, and I would not say this game is difficult. Yes, you can change the settings to even more difficult or extreme if you want to. But some of those bosses I felt were tough by themselves. And yeah, I think it was a very well balanced game. I could have dropped it down a notch because I truly enjoy more story than I do getting my ass whooped. But it was also challenging, you know, especially when I was in the pods and flying around. You know, I'm like, come on, you can do this shit. Like, let's focus, pay attention. I had one time where I just kept dying. I turned the game off and I was like, I'm gonna try this shit tomorrow. I came back the next day and I beat it the first attempt. You know, like sometimes your brain just needs a second. So I would say that this game was a perfect difficulty. I really would. And you have the option to adjust it, so that's always nice. So I'm just gonna jump into the overall because again, this is not a review, okay? This is just my thoughts on after beating the game twice, but not in its entirety. I think I have about like 70 hours right now, and I could definitely put in more time into it, and I probably will because I'm curious. I've seen things on other YouTube channels, and I'm like, I didn't see that cutscene, you know? So I'm like, okay, maybe I should try it. But then, you know, just for me, and I'm not gonna say anything, but the endings that I had, I enjoyed it. I was like, I'm okay with that. And I think there are some other endings that are darker, and you know, I don't even know if the two endings that I did are the real ones, but I'm good with that. So I'm ready to move on, and I'm going to come back to this at another time. So I just got sidetracked, but yes, overall, this was a really good game, you guys. If you like games that really get you thinking about stuff, analyzing stuff, wanting to know more about stuff, this is one of those games. And I'm sad that I didn't get a chance to play this game earlier, but I'm so happy that I did give it a chance now. And I saw this one YouTuber who he posted the different series that felt like these are the type of games where it's more than a game. This is artwork. This is, you know, making you analyze a lot of stuff. And Xenoblade Chronicles was on that list, and of course Nier Automata was on that list. And I'm like, you know what? I think these are really the type of games that I like. An amazing story, right? What do I always say? An amazing story. Easy combat style, easy to play, easy to navigate, easy to understand, right? With all this stuff that's going on with items and performance chips and stuff that you can use to enhance, there's a lot of stuff to learn. For the most part, I felt like I had a good understanding. And there's probably a whole lot more to learn because I didn't do as much as I should with my pods, but it was enough for me that I was able to get through the game. So, I mean, those are always my criteria. Amazing music, right? Great music, good voice acting. The game looks good, right? That post-apocalyptic world. Yeah, I mean, it really gave that vibe. So I've never done a rating, but I would give this game a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed the challenge really so much. Like, I'm excited talking about it, and I'm so curious to what your guys' thoughts on this game. If you remember it, since it came out in 2017, I am off to finish South of Midnight, and then I will be spending quite a bit of the next part of my life on Xenoblade Chronicles X. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. I'm Queen G22.